Hey, I'm Stefan with LRS Consulting, putting out the Regina Business Blog at www.reginabusinessblog.com. And in this video, I wanted to review Linchpin by Seth Godin, Are You Indispensable? The one thing I really like about Seth Godin's books are that they really make me think, challenge the things that I thought that I already knew. He makes you look at things differently and saying, well, why are you doing this? Is it just because that's all that you know, all that you've been taught? What's keeping you from doing it a different way? And I thought that Linchpin was just a fantastic, did a fantastic job of pushing those limits. In particular, one of the things that he touches on in this book, he talks about The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, which is probably one of my favorite business books. In The E-Myth, he basically talks about how to turn your business into a system so that anybody can run it and it produces predictable results, basically based on the McDonald's model, and how you can apply that to any business that you're in, whether you're an accounting firm or an engineering firm or a retail store, a restaurant, whatever. Michael Gerber talks about having to create systems in your business so that any idiot can run your business. And what Seth Godin does in his book is he directly quotes out of that book, and he says, why would you want to build a business like that? Because if anybody can do what you're doing, then or not do what you're doing, but if you can make it into a system, then it can be copied very easily and probably done for cheaper or less cost or anything like that. So basically it's a race to the bottom instead of a race to the top, and nobody wants to win a race to the bottom because there's going to be no profit margins in there for you. So I was thinking, well, as a business owner, how does this book apply? Because for employees, being a linchpin applies because you're basically what a linchpin is creating or putting everything you have into something so that you are indispensable. So if you're it's doing more than just the bullet points in your job description. It's going that little extra bit to think differently about what you're doing and how you might provide better value. And I got thinking, well, I enjoy, or I get the whole concepts behind making your business a system, and I still think that that's important, but it's what that system is set out to do that allows you to incorporate what's in the messages that are in Linchpin. So if you're building a business around Linchpin and around E-Myth, which doesn't seem possible when you're reading this book, it really is, because instead of building a system that anybody can follow, like Michael Gerber says, so that you can have the lowest cost everything, what you should be doing is building your business into a system so that you're encouraging people to become linchpins. So what do you do with your business? Well, I thought there was a really good example. One that stood out to me in this book was about a lender at a bank. And traditionally, banks are the traditional E-Myth business. The lenders are given a set of bullet points that says, okay, you've got to get this information from people, and if they don't meet all of these standards, well, then you can't give them a loan. No questions. There's nothing we can do. We don't want these loans. And so basically, the banks are set up so that they only give loans out to the people that fit into their little rubrics that they've got. Whereas there was a bank in here that they talked about, a lender that is lending a lot to the Amish community. Well, the Amish community doesn't have the typical you know, credit background and all of this stuff that we're used to seeing as banks. So what do they do? Instead of, most banks would just say, well, you know, you don't have the credit history, we can't give you a loan. And the other part of it is the houses that they built don't have electricity in them, and they don't have the traditional homeowners insurance. So the bank, any bank that takes on mortgage to these people, it can't resell that mortgage to anybody. So they own that loan. So instead of just saying, you know, okay, we're not going to touch those people, it's too risky, we don't want to. This lender has done a great job of going out and actually humanizing the lending process and finding out when somebody wants to start up their farm. Okay, who was your father? Who was your mother? Who was your uncles? Find out about the family history and their history of, you know, success in what they're doing, and whether he thinks by actually getting involved in looking at their operations, whether they think that the loan is going to be viable. And that's what Seth Godin is talking about in this book. It's all about looking at doing things differently. So it's not about creating a business that anybody can follow, but it is about creating a system for a business that sets your people up to, I guess, enables your people to do good things. So, you know, giving your lenders the ability to go out and lend to the Amish people, or something that I thought of from Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek that would apply here, is he gave his all the customer service that he was outsourcing. He was getting questions from those people coming back. Well, what about this? Can we take care of this for people? Can we take care of that for people? And basically, he just gave them a blanket statement right off the bat. He said, okay, if anything, if a problem costs more than $100 or less than $100 to fix, just fix it. Don't bother asking me. Just do whatever you have to do to make the customer happy. So if you're in the customer service business, which is what most businesses are in one way or the other, the system isn't giving your employees a rubric to follow of what they can and can't do. It's creating a system that enables your employees to actually do what's right. So you give them the power to be helpful, and you give them the power to do things right. So if there's a problem that can be fixed for under $100, whatever it is, just do it if it's the right thing. That's the type of system you should be creating, so that you can create a business built on indispensable people and not on people that just follow the rules. So there's a good quote in here, or a good story in here, about right after he talks about the E-Myth, about the workers at McDonald's. And he said, you want to find out how a systemized business works? Just go to McDonald's, order a Big Mac, and order a milkshake. Eat half the Big Mac and drink half the milkshake. Then take the half Big Mac, put it in the milkshake, take it back to the counter, and say, I can't drink this milkshake. There's a Big Mac in it. Guaranteed they will give you your money back, because they are taught that it's easier to give somebody their money back than to start a confrontation. And I don't think that's the type of business you want to be running. You want to be running a business where the employees actually have the power to you know, use their own insights and act as an actual human being, and not just a cog in the machine. So Seth, thank you for writing Linchpin and making me think outside of my established worldview.